So when they come online and see, oh, you can book a free consultation, most people don't even call. They book immediately. I have it laid out what information I want. They book the consultation. They have a choice to either come into my office or online, right? I know that. I show up for the consultation. In between all of that, your system, though, is sending out all the reminders through text and through email, right? Come for the appointment.
Today, I'm joined by Ana Loiselle, who is the founder of the Relationship Center based in South Florida. Thank you so much for joining us, Ana. You have been with YouCanBookMe for 12 years, so we are just absolutely delighted that you're still using us and that you're still finding value out of it. Tell me a little bit about the Relationship Center and what has driven you to create this business.
My work is built around the nervous system because every relationship problem is really a safety problem. So, like when couples fight or disconnect, what's really happening under the surface is one or both nervous systems are sensing threat. So my job is to help them recognize those signals in the body and help them calm them and learn to come back into connection instead of looping in survival behaviors, which would be like withdrawal or blame or control or attack. I've been doing it since 2010, and you said that I've been with you for 12 years. So right from the beginning then, really.
So how did you get into this? I mean, that's really fascinating to hear. I've never heard that being sort of about like it's about your kind of nervous system before. So that's a fascinating kind of perspective. But what's made you kind of hone in on that?
I actually was in a completely different career field and just felt like struggling in relationships, my own personal relationship, and didn't want to make mistakes. So that's where my curiosity started back when I first started this 2010. My approach has evolved over the years from my own understanding and growth. And now that's, where I've landed now is on the nervous system and how that affects couples. Because ultimately, you can teach communication skills, which is really where everybody starts, right? Everybody, if you go to a therapist or you go to a coach, everybody wants to just teach you communication skills, and that's all great. But as soon as that nervous system, that alarm goes off on us, that's the end of it. You don't even really have the ability to remember those. You're not going to be really, really effective with them. You can be. I'm not saying that there's not a place for them, and it's not that I don't teach skills, because I do. But first and foremost, we have to understand our own nervous system and how that's responding to our partner's nervous system, and that it's all about this wiring for survival. Every relationship really is a safety problem. Do I feel emotionally safe with you, or do I not?
I can absolutely see that, when somebody does something and it triggers you to react in a certain way or whatever, and then that's when the fighting begins.
Right, exactly. And then it's a full-blown war. We hear people talk about, well, being triggered. We hear that all the time. Or we hear about the survival or fight, flight, and freeze. And there really is a fourth one called fawn. We'd hardly ever hear about that one. But those are really the mechanisms of the survival system, right? In those moments, we really think we only have four different options. They either fight with you, I flight or flee. It gets described both ways. I freeze like a possum, right? I just stay small. Or I fawn. And fawn, because most people don't know what that one is I pretend or I fake that everything's okay. I might be smiling, but inside my whole nervous system is going, ah. But it's a mechanism to survive what I now see as danger, right? We're trying to create emotional safety, so that we can help each partner understand their own nervous system and how safety, danger, shows up in their body. Because until the body feels safe, communication tools they don't work.
So I'm really fascinated because this is something that, a lot of people will say, I learned this, but you made a business out of it. And so tell me how that transition happened. So yes, you got the learning, you understood that what you needed to do, you went for more advanced learning, and it sounds like your practice has changed over the years as you've become more aware of this particular area. But tell me about like setting up that business. What was it when you first decided you were going to do it and you're like, right, this is how I'm going to make my money? What did you set up with? What tools were you using?
Both my mom and dad were entrepreneurs. So it's just in my blood, and I've truly only had a couple of jobs my entire life. I've always been self-employed. So it's nothing new. I think the big piece for anybody, whether it's a therapist or a coach in this healing space, is how do you market it, right? And that's where everybody struggles.
So obviously over the course of this business, you've seen the introduction of social media, you're now seeing the introduction of AI. So how has that developed over the years, and where do you see that going?
Well, my personal opinion is I love AI. It makes my business so much easier. You can build things quicker and faster and all of that. So to me, it's made life easier. I get people are scared of it. We don't know the consequences. It's anytime we evolve technology, right? We don't know where the breaches are going to be or people are going to use it maliciously. But I see great advantages to it too. Yeah, right now most of a lot of social media, right? Everybody's moving to videos and wanting to see and all of that, educational pieces, creating interest through that. So I'm moving towards doing all of that. It's really all online. If you think about it, if somebody's in trouble with their relationship or marriage, where are they going to go? It used to be the yellow pages back here in America. I don't know what you had, but we had the old yellow pages. We don't have that. Then it was Google, and now it's really just becoming kind of your Facebook reels, right? Your TikToks. Everybody's looking for information there. You can learn tons of stuff. I mean, I know I educate myself sometimes on, oh, wow, what's this person have to say? Oh, that's interesting. And then you can dive into it more, get into their website if that's something you want to do. But initially, if you're trying to grassroots it and go out and talk at women's groups or anything that about marriage or relationships, that's not where somebody's going to be looking for necessarily. When you're on the internet, that's people are searching now for that. It takes a lot of work just because even with the AI, it does make it simpler, quicker, but it's not that quick, and the learning curve is it's not that easy.
Do you have like a CRM, or how do you track your customers? And do you have special email marketing? Like what tools do you use?
So YouCanBookMe has been obviously for 12 years has worked for me, right? I mean, it's a fantastic system. It does it all for me, So when they come online and see, oh, you can book a free consultation, most people don't even call. They book immediately. They go into your system, right? I have the booking page. I have it laid out what information I want. They book the consultation. They have a choice to either come into my office or online, right? I know that. I show up for the consultation. In between all of that, your system, though, is sending out all the reminders through text and through email, right? Come for the appointment. After that, when they become a client, I still follow up the same way. So I use your system throughout the whole, but it's not really that complicated.
You mentioned about a couple of times that how your business has changed over the years. Like you've recognized certain things, you've introduced these new areas as you're noticing them coming up. If you could go back in time and see yourself 14 years ago when you were starting this business, what advice would you give?
Probably the biggest part is not to waste money on people who are promising these great marketing things. Be super cautious. Once you find your niche, right? Because when people come into coaching, even therapy, everybody wants to be too broad. You really need, if you're going to be good at any of it, you really need to niche it down. If you're going to work with people who have anxiety disorders, work with that. Don't work with 20 other different pathologies, or niche it down and then market that way. You'll have enough business because there's people struggling in that area. I think it's when everybody gets too broad. Niche down what you want to do, who you want to help, and get really, really good at that.
Would you rather get a new customer or double your sales to an existing customer? This is kind of an interesting one in your case.
If I had a choice, I'd rather work with the existing couple and deepen the work with them.
Would you rather speak at a huge conference or make a new sale?
That one's easy. I'd rather make a new sale.
I'm a conference speaker now.
I'm not, and that stinks. I wish I was. That's something that I was like, I really need to go to like a training where I can just get comfortable.
Would you rather work with a team of experts or passionate learners?
I like both. Love both. One, I get to learn, and then I get to pass it on, right?
Yep. And would you rather be known for product quality or customer service?
Product quality. There's not a lot of customer service pieces, right? It comes right to me. And
so you didn't really talk about the Relationship Rewire program. Is that the bit of training that you get that they do before they come in for the lessons, or is that a different course?
So there's different courses. I call the relationship rewire, kind of my flagship, or, the foundation work, which is all really teaching all about the nervous system.
Ana, thank you so much. This has been just enlightening, very enlightening, and just wonderful to talk to you and to hear about this passion and all the people you're helping. I mean, that's amazing. You've taken more than 1,800 bookings with us. So that's a lot of couples that you're helping. So it's really, really wonderful. And that's, yeah, it's wonderful. Really, really good. So thank you so much for your time. It's been really a real pleasure speaking to you.